Got to wanted to go over the 25-mile test run down the Missouri from the Knife River Villages. Thank you, Mimi. To Fort Mandan last weekend, and the goods and the bads and the whole deal. So I tried to make it short, but you know how I am. So the best thing about this trip was that it was actually a test turned into a real test, right? So I put in the Knife River Villages at 1:30, and it was like supposed to be like 5 hours on the long side trip down there, but yeah, I didn't. Finally was able to pull out of the river at 9:30, and I didn't get all my gear into camp till 12:30 a.m. and then I was so bloody tired. I just threw it out by the fire, and that was a mistake too. Wind came back up, and yeah, and then I got rained on. So I didn't get a hell of a lot of sleep that night either. So, and I'm going to apologize. I'm going to show a bit of video after I'm done, you know, bleating on. And I apologize. I really didn't do a very good job of videoing this whole thing. It's like, when I'm out in the bush, it's not my first inclination to go reach for a camera, right? And especially when things are getting a bit dicey and dodgy. So, but I want to go over a couple of things. Oh yeah, and I missed. I totally, after the third time I got blown ashore, and the wind finally quit, and I was able to make it to Fort Mandan. I just quit videoing after that completely, and I had fully intended to video the camp and shooting Sweet Murray and all kinds of things. Well, none of that happened, right? So it was a good camp too. So there was like 4 other coalition members there, a couple from Minnesota, and a couple of MM boys were there too. And one from Montana and one from North Dakota. So it was a good camp. It was really good. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, let's get into the positives. It was like, okay, like first thing like I said, it's like the best thing was that it was a real test, because I needed to know if I could handle it, right? You know, I got into three thunderstorms and some hellacious wind, and well, in fact, the third time I'd blown ashore, the wind kept on for an hour. I was like, oh crap, I'm just gonna camp here and try to make it down to Fort Mandan the next day, but it let up, and so I had to reload the canoe, and off we went another and finally got to Fort Mandan. But hey, that's the way it goes. Right, so that's yeah. Well, yeah, that's actually when, well, we'll go into that. Well, I'll get into that in a little bit here. But the another positive thing was, I didn't know how Mimi was going to handle the thunderstorms, because we've been caught out in thunderstorms before, and it was pretty scary actually. But we had some serious thunderstorms, 3 of them, and she was a trooper. She did really good. And yeah, you were a trooper. You were a trooper. Right, so she didn't much care for the being rained on. I think that was worse than the thunder, but I was able to, she popped into the back after when the first thunderstorm hit, and got under the thwarts, and I threw a piece of canvas over top of her, and she was just fine. Right, she just kind of hung out there for hours. Yeah, that was good. And so, yeah, and I, like I said, I needed to know if I was physically able to do this thing. And yeah, I can do that. But I was pretty bloody sore for a couple of days afterwards. The new hip is not ain't all there yet. but it made me realize that the original plan that I had made, yeah, if I started out here in a couple of days and did the 160, 75 miles, something like that, if I started out, then I might make it to Fort Union Rendezvous maybe next year, right? So, and I'm changing the plans. Like Sacagawea is, those storms hit like that, those waves on Sacagawea get 4 or 5 feet high. I ain't gonna make it. so I had to reevaluate and replan. And that's when the realism, or excuse me, the romance runs smack dab into realism, right? Reality, right? So I made a couple other plans. My plan right now is to leave like on June 8th, go this 80 plus miles down the Yellowstone River into the Missouri, and then it's only 2 miles up the Missouri to Fort Union, right? So that's number one. But if the water's too high, which in June, the Yellowstone is known to flood, that one is out. So then the second option is going maybe 100 miles, going on into Montana, and then going 100 miles downstream to Fort Union, and that's that one's a possibility. And then the third one is going up and doing a 60-mile upriver trip from Lewis Clark State Park, and yeah, that one's not. That's my least favorite now. it was a challenge going down river. It was like, okay, going up river. Oh boy, right. So anyway, that's the current state of affairs. So the big problems that I ran into. Wait, oh yeah, and one of them was. You see, I'm smoking, I'm jerking meat right now. I'm smoking meat right inside this thing, right? Because you would think it'd be common sense, right, to have some food with you, but I only thought it was like going to be a 5-hour trek, so I didn't put anything handy. Everything was packed away, and so I didn't want it to get wet, right? So I'm jerking a bunch of meat, right? So I ate a little bit before I left my night, and I didn't eat till the following morning. And yeah, that was a bugger too. So that ain't gonna happen again. That's all, but that's not a big deal. I can go without. We can go without food for a while. It's not an uncommon thing. But overall, everything worked pretty dang good. The sail worked really well, although I got blown sideways as much as I went forward sometimes. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm gonna learn how to be a sailor, but I wasn't able to use my dagger board, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on with my camera, but it keeps shutting off on me. So, hi, Mimi. So anyway, I was talking about the dagger board. So it's way too long. The Missouri River ain't like any rivers I've been out west. So twisty and turny and sandbars and a lot of it's shallow, right? So trying to stay in the main channel is kind of a bugger. So it's got a nasty reputation, and it's for a reason, right? So yeah, I had it where I could raise it, lower it, but when the winds is howling and you're in a thunderstorm, you ain't really much time to do that. So it actually, when it worked really good, but it actually became more of a detriment than a benefit. So it's getting hacked in two. I'm gonna hack it in two, and clean her up. Yeah, it should be better. Yeah, well, I fully intended to video Sweet Marie, shooting Sweet Marie. But the first, yeah, it's been like first hour. I thought I was just going to go shoot, kind of, you know, get up, have a bit to eat and some coffee, and get on and shoot. Right. Well, everything had gotten wet. Right. So the ramrod and the ramrod channel swelled. I couldn't get the ramrod out. So it took me an hour to get that out, and now that's been fixed since then, so that ain't gonna happen again, right? But it's good to know, right? So you don't know things until you get out and do it, and that's what the test runs are for, right? You get to test your gear, or you're gonna get out there, you're gonna find out when you really need it, and it's not available to you, right? So I'm happy to say though, once I got the ramrod unstuck and I was able to load her up and things like that, it was she shoots pretty good, right? Not bad at all, right? So I was able to knock off about like that piece of wood at 50 yards, so that was pretty good. But I found some things out about her too that of course, you know, I was like, idiosyncrasies. That's why I'm named after my ex-wife, right? There's always idiosyncrasies, right? So it's pretty rough back in here, inside the bore. So I'm gonna keep the charge at 80 grains and not go much above that, right? So until I can get a gunsmith. Well, there's a couple things I need a gunsmith for, but until then, she'll work just fine. And the next thing is right. So I didn't shoot a heck of a lot, but it's not enough, right? It touched off just great, right? I only had one hang fired, and it wasn't that bad. So, when I got home, and I took her all apart, and I can tell it had been taken apart for, you know, who knows how long, right? So, since I wanted to clean up parts and check things out, and wanted to check out too if that, right, it had a thing on the wrist right here too. And I go, well, is that decoration? Is that for real? Well, it turns out it was for real, because yeah, the stock split right through there. So I rawhided it and rawhide and sinew. So she should be plenty stout. But then the end barrel lug here wasn't attached to the barrel any longer, so this is kind of flopping around. You can't have that, right? That catch on something and just break smooth off, and then you're just kind of stuck, right? So did a little field expedient barrel lug there, and when I put the barrel lug on, or the rawhide on, it's like, oh, yeah, crap, I can't see the sight anymore. So I filed a piece of sheet brass down, and I'm not sure it'll stay, but we'll give it a go. We'll see how it goes to Fort Union. I'll give her, put a few rounds out of there until I can find a gunsmith and do it proper, right? So Core Discovery had a gunsmith with them, right, and a good one, right, and they had a lot of spare parts and things like that too. So, bloody hell, I don't know what's going on with this camera, but it's causing me great annoyance and displeasure. It's like shut off. It's like I'm trying to go on about the positives and things, and only caught like half of them. Yeah, apparently I talked like 10 minutes or more to myself, right? Anyway, we'll patch her together, make a video anyhow. I was going over some of the negatives, and I got, it was only just a couple really, but one was some of the equipment failures, right? So, well, I guess you call it, I don't know if you call it equipment or not. But my my work smock failed majorly, right? It's like, well, crap. You think I could sew her back together, but it ain't no good when you can do that. When you run your finger right on through the material, it's just toast, right? So, you know, my gear's got a little more miles on it than I thought. I could swing one more expedition out of some of it, but apparently I can't. But anyway, so that, with this being gone, that lays me down. That I'm down to my hunting shirt, hunting frock, whatever you want to call it. So I got a hold of Townsend, GS Townsend and Son, and ordered me up a new one. And they emailed me back the next day and said, well, there's none in stock, and the seamstress won't have it done. It's going to be 4 to 6 weeks. It was like, so I emailed them back. It was like, mate, I got an expedition to go on here real soon. And it sure would be nice if I had more than one shirt. So they emailed me back, and then it said the fellow said he was going to talk to the seamstress and see if she could speed it along a little bit. And I got another email the next day and said, yep, she'll get her done, and we'll get it all expedited. So huge shout out to Townsend's, right? Service over and above. I really appreciate it. I'd hate to show up to Fort Union naked, but you know that was a distinct possibility. So there was that one. And the next one was like, oh, my old shoe packs, man. I've had these things for years and years and years and years. And I thought I could squeeze a few more trips out of them. In and out of the Missouri River, all the time they soak, and they're just so many years of just having so much tallow on them. The alkali is just too rotten, and it's just not holding. So I've got to make me a new pair of moccasins and more shoe packs. Yeah. What I used to do as a younger fella, right? So, you know, before I actually made these guys, because these guys have lasted years and years and years. They've been awesome, but I'd wear out a pair of moccasins, right? And I'd stick them under a rock along a trail or something with just a little bit sticking out, right? So, you know, somebody come along and think they found something pretty cool. Right. Well, it is pretty cool, but you know, I've probably got, who knows? I got some moccasins in some museum somewhere. Anyway, I think that's gonna. That'll be this part here. I got to patch this thing together because it's the camera's been not so good today. Right. So anyway, cheers. We've got it going now. Oh yeah, there's one other thing. So remember I'd made this was out to about here. It was my powder measure as well. It was kind of an experiment to see. Well, yeah, field testing tells you a fair bit, right? So I always check on my gear every now and again, right? As I'm trekking or whatever, right? Canoeing or horseback or whatever. Always check things out, make sure and nothing's come off or anything like that. And I reached down, I looked down twice, and twice that the powder measure stopper had popped out. So nope, that ain't happening again. So I got home, and now the powder measure's there, and I cut that stopper off, and she's down in there now, and she ain't coming out by accident. So that was, I think that pretty well covers everything. So yeah, again, I apologize for doing a lousy job on the videoing, but here's what I got. Cheers. Well, we're underway. So it's only going to be a 23-mile trip today. I we got a little bit of a late start. There's supposed to be thunderstorms this evening, so I put in on the Knife River next to the Dotson Village, the Knife River Indian Village. So we're going down the Knife, I don't know, about a mile, hit the Missouri, head south. So here we go. Not much of a breeze yet. So I think we got probably, well, I hope about 4 hours, I hope, down there. We'll see how it goes. Pretty shallow too. Nope. Always good to have two paddles of two different sizes. So the otter tail, this river's too shallow for the otter tail, but it works just fine for the beaver tail. Well, wouldn't exactly say it's filling the sail, but we're moving down the river. Here we go, little breeze. I got a hot little dog there. She's a good one, though. She's doing great. We are nearly there to the Missouri. More bends and we'll be there. There we go. We got some wind. We got some wind. Missouri River proper. We are in it. My Missouri. Yeah, them thunderclouds building up. Look what they've done to the river. Well, we didn't miss the baby hiding. Yeah, we got her heading up. We didn't miss the thunderstorm. Yeah, oh well, she passed pretty quick. The sail's working pretty good. Yeah, I'll get cooled off here. There, looks like we're through it. This one anyway. Poor Mimi. Show you some of the spectacular scenery. How's that? And that. Turkey vultures. You hear it, see it, right? You dang sure didn't miss the thunderstorms. Glad we got out of underneath the power line, that's for sure. We don't have too awful far to go. It's like, but I'm sure hoping that this storm is not headed over the top of me, but it certainly looks like it. But that's not even the big storm. I'll show you around, swing you around and show you the big storm. There you go. You're part of it. Yeah, ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. And that thing is all around me. That thunderstorm is all around me. I don't think I'm escaping it. But we have been making pretty good time. But this stuff wasn't supposed to happen for like 3 or 4 more hours. Thanks a lot. Oh, excuse me. Just got a bit of wind. And take off. Getting a little closer to shore, but it's too shallow to put the dagger board in. Over there to the wind a little bit. A little bit further away from shore. Yeah, this is Clark mentioned that. I guess that's what you really call wagging the flag. Yeah. I still got about a mile to go, I think, to get the Fort down then. But the wind's blowing me up against the shore and it's too dang shallow to put my dagger board down. So I'm hoping the thing just to blow over a bit and we'll be able to stay on. If not, I'm going to have to push-pull it along. That poor meaty seed in there somewhere. Well, the day's just getting better. Get there. I need to get to that north shore. Right, that wind is coming right head on. Having a bit of a difficulty here. Can't be more than a mile away from Fort Mandan, but man, I got blown ashore and I can't get across. But I've dragged the canoe along to that point over there. But yeah, this is a rough one.